Dear viewers, wherever you are, hello and welcome to this new episode of your program, An Egyptian Anecdote. One of the greatest queens, not only in ancient Egypt, but in the world. Queen Hatshipsut. Queen Hatshipsut was not only a great woman and queen, but a great innovator as well. She left us a great legacy full of achievements and innovations in many different fields, in the fields of economy, in the field of politics, and most importantly, in the field of art and architecture. So how was her life? How was her reign? And how did it all end? And what are her greatest achievements? To shed more light on this, I'm really delighted to be joined now from Cairo by Naveen Ashur, who is a scholar in ancient Egyptian history. Naveen, hello and welcome to the program.
Hello, thank you. It's nice to be here.
Pleasure is all mine. And to start off, can you tell us a little bit about the beginning of Hatshepsut's life? So how was the reign of her parents? Who were her parents, the mother and father? And how was the time, how was Egypt at the time of her birth?
Hatshepsut was the descendant of Thutmose, Ahmose the Great. Hatub and Seqenenra were her great-grandparents. And so she is a descendant of a great dynasty. Her father was Thutmose the First, and he had no male son from the main wife, so she was very important for him. And I think she said after his death that he chose her to be his the ruler after him, to follow him on the throne. She of course made use of her grandmothers, Hatshepsut, and her mother, the wife of Thutmose the First. The country was very blooming, and it was stable. And I think she made use of all of that.
So she was born to a royal family that was a great family with great achievements, and it was there was a lot of stability, and everybody was leading a stable life at that time in Egypt. So let's talk about her reign. How did she come to the throne, being a woman?
Yeah. Of course, it was known that to be a king, you have to be the son of the king and the royal wife or the main wife of the king. And that wasn't the case for Thutmose II. So her father and maybe the priests advised him to make his son marry his sister Hatshepsut, because her mother was the godwife or the main wife, and that's how she became the wife of the king. Then she had only one daughter, or I think they were two, but the known to me was only one, who married Thutmose III. Thutmose II was not that strong man. Maybe he was a little ill or something, so she was like the queen from behind the curtains. After his death, she became the regent, because Thutmose III, number one, he was the son of a concubine or a secondary wife, and number two, he was very young. He was maybe 2 or 3 years old, so she became the regent. But after some time, she decided to claim the throne and declare herself the queen. And she, most of the time, she presented herself like not a man. I think it was a king. She was presenting herself as a king.
Okay,
Yes, she was
so let me just summarize what you've said here. So her father Thutmose I, he had a wife and a concubine. The wife was the mother Hatshipsut, and the concubine was the mother of Thutmose II. So in order for her to get legitimacy to the throne, and for him as well to get legitimacy to the throne, they had to marry each other. He was the king, the official king, but she was the de facto queen. She was the person who was really ruling. And then, so did she declare herself to be the queen during the reign of Thutmose II or Thutmose III, his son?
No, she was the queen, and she was the wife of the king. That's.
Okay, but she became a regent for after his death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Became, like the.
So the regent of Thutmose III.
Yeah.
So she became a regent. She became a regent. Okay. She became a regent for Thutmose III.
Yes.
Okay. After his father Thutmose II died, again because he did not have a son from her, but he had a son from another concubine as well.
Yeah.
So then she was the real queen again. So she was never the real queen. She was never officially.
No, she became the real queen, of course, after when she was married to Thutmose II. She was the real queen as the wife, the royal wife of the king. Okay. After her death, she was the queen because she is the mother of or the stepmother of the king.
So she was the mother. She was the acting queen. She was the de facto queen.
Yes. Okay. And a regent and an acting queen, but not the sole king of the country or the sole queen of the country until maybe 7 years after the death of Thutmose II, when she sent her son to some military school in Memphis, and she declared herself as the sole queen or co-king, co-ruler. Okay. He was king with her, but she was the only one who's directing the country, ruling the country, but he was a co-king with her.
Okay, so she was a co-ruler, was Thutmose II, a co-ruler for some time, and regent at the same time for Thutmose III. And then when he went to the military school, she proclaimed herself officially as the queen. After 7 years.
As the king, she proclaimed herself as the king.
As the king, not as a queen, as a king.
She never said when she proclaimed the throne for herself, she said, I'm the king of the country. And she presented herself as a male, as a male king, not a queen, a female king.
Okay. So it was sort of a bumpy road. It wasn't a smooth path to ruling here. So this is her story until she became a ruler. And then if we move after that to talk about her reign. Now let's divide her reign into 3 main sections. The first section will talk about her achievements in her military achievements or her political achievements. The second thing, let's talk about her economic achievements. Third, let's talk about her great achievements in art and architecture. To start off with the military or political achievements, what are the main military and political achievements during her reign?
Well, as I know, she didn't have wars or things like that. She sent some military expeditions. Some rebellions, they tried to get out of the Egyptian
rule. They wanted to, yeah.
And she sent some expedition to stop that, and she used to do something which is very, very good, I think. She used to capture the princes and the rulers and bring them to Egypt, and she would host them and make them join schools and learn in Egypt, so they would be loyal to Egypt. And that's how she gave her rule stability and good relationship with other countries surrounding it.
So she did a form of Egyptianization to
Yes.
rulers of other countries, so they can fully assimilate and fully, integrate into the Egyptian fabric. So they would become part and parcel of Egypt. So this way, they would give their genuine loyalty to Egypt rather than under fear. So
she had a lot of time to give attention to economy and to make the country more prosper and more.
Okay, but how about Egypt on the map? Did Egypt expand under her rule?
I think Thutmose III did add some of the lands, but not Hatshepsut nor Thutmose II.
But it was under her reign, right? Like Thutmose III, he added these pieces of land, but it was under the reign of Hatshepsut. So moving to the economic achievements of Hatshepsut.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, what are the most important economic achievements of Hatshepsut?
I think she was very, very smart doing that, because she sent a lot of trading expeditions, and she brought many goods and many products of countries surrounding Egypt that gave the enrichment to the society and gave them a chance to have a lot of chances for work. And of course, her building achievements or building projects gave a lot of chances for work and for workers to find jobs and to be better.
So who did she trade with? Who did she trade with, and what kind of commodities she brought from abroad? Like, if she did some trade, what things did she export to other countries?
And it was depicted on the Dar al-Bahri walls, showed that she brought gold, brought animals, brought skin of animals. Incenses was very important, and she was very interested in bringing those. Live animals, of course, and maybe she had some kind of a zoo in Egypt, because she brought live animals. Of course, that means they would be kept and taken care of.
So now moving to her achievements in art and architecture. What were the greatest achievements of art and architecture during her time?
Of course, the Dar al-Bahri, or the temple, or the Cherry temple, north to the Karnak, in the west of on the west bank of Luxor. That's maybe one of the very most famous temples in the whole world. And she had inscribed a lot of her achievements on the walls of it. And of course, the Karnak, it was like the temple of temples. She gave a great attention to that. The obelisks. There are two obelisks there, but as I know, or as I read, she had 4 obelisks, but the other two were, one was taken and the other was destroyed. And she built a pylon, the 8th pylon, and the Karnak. They were hard.
You're talking about the Valley of the Kings and the Queens. So this is a great area. And
one more thing.
Sorry,
There was a shrine of her. It's in the Karnak as well.
Yeah, these are great achievements indeed, and she has the unfinished obelisk, right? It's one of
and that's one, of course. This
So
is how we know how obelisks are cut and.
So why wasn't this obelisk complete? Why didn't they complete this obelisk?
There was a crack in the body of the obelisk, so they had to stop because obelisks are always made of one piece of stone.
Okay. So there was something wrong with the structure itself. There was a crack in the body of the obelisk, and that's why they discontinued it, or they stopped building it.
Many other statues and things like that are not finished because they cracked or got broken, and they were left in their places and found not completed because some cracks or were not being finished good, so they stopped the process and left at their places.
Absolutely.
And that obelisk was one of them.
Okay, so a lot of stories have been told about Hatshepsut, and a lot of legends have been said about her, about a lot of conspiracies between, her brother or her half brother and her husband, Hatshepsut II. There was a conspiracy between him and the priests of Ammon, and they made some kind of conspiracy to get rid of her. Or maybe during the time of Imhotep III, there was some kind of conspiracy again against her, and they said that she, managed to escape, and then she also was able to use the sword, the spear, and the bow and the arrow like men. She had a strong build. How many percent of this is correct? Like, are these all just myth? Or is any of what I just said correct?
Conspiracies around the ruler are always existing. They never stop from the beginning of life. So there must be some kind of conspiracies against her, or she was making against her husband or Thutmose the third. But nothing is confirmed. Nothing is sure. But I think she would be interested in keeping Thutmose. He would be like her grand. Anyway, she is his aunt, his stepmother, and if she have conspiracies with others, maybe they would do the same against her. I don't think she had.
But were the priests of Ammon happy with having a queen or having a female king?
I don't think so. Mostly men won't like having a queen, and that of her power, they would prefer a man. Maybe they would prefer Thutmose, and maybe that made them like talk to him or make him agree to have some conspiracies against her, because he after her death, after her disappearance, some of her achievements or name written on her buildings were removed, or not completely removed, but yeah.
But we can say that she died of a natural cause, or was she killed?
When her body
by someone, was she assassinated? Was she killed by someone, or did he just die because of a disease or just because of age?
After proving that her body was already found, her mummy, they found she was having diabetes and problems with teeth and some other illnesses, maybe also cancer, and but no signs of being killed or poisoned, nothing like that found while examining the mummy. Maybe she was only like put in the shade to give Thutmose to have his chance to be the sole ruler, and she was not killed, but she was also she wasn't feeling well, she was ill, so maybe she was just put in the shade. That's what I think, but I'm not sure, of course. Nothing is true.
Okay, so last but never least, why do you think that we did not have many examples like her in ancient Egyptian history? We had other queens, but again, they're just like few. Can we say that the Egyptian society was a patriarchic society, was a male-dominated society?
Yes, we can see that clearly, and this is the case of most of the world countries, not only Egypt.
Absolutely.
The number of queens is very few. Queens are very few in the world.
Absolutely. Navina, sure, thank you very much for joining us from Cairo, Egypt, and looking forward to hosting you one more time. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And dear viewers, if we were to come to a conclusion here, a great queen with a lot of achievements, but just because she's a woman, she had to go through a very, very hard path to become a queen, to become a regent, or even at the end of her life. And the ancient Egyptian civilization is one of the greatest, if not the greatest civilization humanity has ever known. But it suffered from the same disease we're still suffering from until today. Sexism is one of the major diseases humanity is still suffering from until today, along with other equally ill and equally malignant tumors like racism as well. We hope that such stories would inspire us all to reconsider the way we judge people and to stop any form of prejudice and to start treating humans as humans. Dear viewers, until we meet again, have a very pleasant time. Thanks for watching.